Hey guys, what's up? It's Heather with the Moscow, and today we're going to do the July garden tour. In my last video, I wasn't feeling very well, so it looks like I'm dying, but I'm feeling a lot better now. So I'm super excited to show you July's garden tour. In May, I split up the vegetable garden tour and the regular garden tour. In June, I didn't end up posting the vegetable garden tour, sorry guys. So this time I'm just gonna do it all together, and we're gonna start actually out here in the vegetable garden because I'm desperately trying to get out here before it gets super sunny. I live in East Tennessee. I garden in a zone 7, so I'm gonna turn you around and we're gonna take a look at some things that are making me super excited. So we're gonna start, I'm standing on the driveway. My vegetable garden is way over here, but you'll notice this massive stuff. Last year, I tried to plant a pumpkin patch. I'd spent a lot of time putting it in. It was a whole thing. And Jason was cutting down trees and cut down a tree on it. And FedEx, bless their hearts, ran over a pumpkin, and it didn't go well. I love pumpkins. I love to decorate with pumpkins in the fall. So last year, when I got a whole bunch of decorative pumpkins, my kids love to smash them. I let them smash them out here. I didn't plant a single one of these pumpkins, and they're producing far better than my pumpkins did, and they're not hooked up to water, and they're just a gift from God. Just volunteer pumpkins everywhere. So that's what all these pumpkins are, but we're gonna walk past them and go over to the vegetable garden and hope to get into most of it before we get into the full sun. But I mean, look at how many pumpkins are on these plants that I had nothing to do with. Look at that. You see them? Oh my goodness. And I mean, there's this one over here. He's huge. Nothing to do with him. So glad they're here. This is our backyard, and again, it will be grass, but right now we're in between that, so we're taking advantage. So the first thing here in this row, I had onions. They didn't do that well. They were right here. So I pulled what I could, and a couple days ago I put in some more bean seeds, and it looks like they're coming up okay. So that's exciting. I'm gonna go ahead and do some of this row 2 here because my rows are kind of growing together and I knew this would happen, but I put in 2 watermelon plants, and they're looking really great. Like if you pan back, there's lots and lots of vines here. I'm having to cut some of my cucumber vines because I'm being overrun by cucumbers to make room for them. But let's see if I can find it. There it is. There's one watermelon, and I'm sure there's more in here, and then we'll come over here. And I've got several watermelons on this one. So that's super exciting. So we're gonna just travel up in between-ish these rows. This is my patch of zinnias. I have learned a very valuable lesson about zinnias this year, and that is that I need to stake them. I did not stake them. A windstorm came, got my zinnias, got my corn laid out, which we'll look at that in a minute, but you know, got my corn laid out. They're doing really well. They're producing a lot, which is great. I love them. I bring bouquets to work. I bring bouquets inside. I send bouquets to work with Jason, but they're so pretty. Lots of Bernaries giants, some queen lime mix, really pretty. So on the opposite side of that, we have got butternut squash here, and there's squash all in there looking really amazing. Staking is kind of my weak point, and we will see that here as well. There's some more zinnias. Behind the zinnias are some snapdragons, and I've got a handful off those. But here is my patch of tomatillos. And I put a couple stakes in here. It's clearly not enough. They're all over the ground. I really should do something about that, but I've been really lazy about these. But let's go. I'm gonna step over here, but you can see that there are just little tomatillos growing. Really want to be able to can some salsa verde, so that's great. Beyond that, I've got my tomatoes, another place where staking has been an issue. I bought these tomato cages on Amazon. They are terrible. So So I just bought extra stakes and have been trying to shore them up. I have not done these yet, but these are looking pretty good. I have had a lot of tomato hornworms that I've had to come out here and pull off here and do something about. And I have gotten a lot of tomatoes this week, especially off of this plant here. And my cherry tomato plant is doing pretty good as well. So I'm getting some fruit off these, maybe not as much as I would like. The tomatoes that are doing the best for me right now are the Gin Fizz tomatoes, and they are very delicious, so I'm very happy about that. But look at this poor plant, like, oh, the tomato hornworms. I've also got blossom end rot problems, which I'm not sure. Oh, there he is, that little beast. I will come get you in a minute. Little critter, got to go. So I do need to come out here and do something about staking up that one and that one. We're not beating the sun. Okay, so we've got stock here. It's doing pretty good. What is wrong with that leaf over there? Stock here that had done pretty good. It's kind of fizzling out. But I've got my, down this aisle here, these are red tomatoes, or I'm sorry, red bell peppers. So hopefully, nope, that's a steak. So hopefully they'll start producing pretty soon. I don't see anything on them yet, but look at my eggplant. So pretty, and he's got another flower on him. All of this is cucumbers, because I pick at least a gallon of cucumbers. I see cucumbers on it right now. I was out here last night and I picked several gallons of cucumbers every 2 days. I don't need this many cucumbers. OMG. If you need cucumbers, come to my house. Behind that, we've got our jalapeno plants. They're doing pretty well. I get at least a handful of jalapenos every week. I still have not gotten enough to pickle, make candied jalapenos. But there's definitely jalapenos on here that I need to come get today. So maybe I'll have enough today. I don't have enough time today, but I mean, isn't that how that goes? But yeah, there's definitely jalapenos on here looking great. Then we've got our okra. We're starting to get some okra on it. I need to do a better job of being out here, but look. The other problem is we're about to go on vacation, and so all my plants will get neglected. I see another one that I need to get rid of. So the okra's doing well. Maybe I'll just chop it up and freeze it. So then we come over to the last row, which is our corn. Again, I didn't stake it. From now on, I will stake it. I have gotten several ears off here. They were very delicious. This is a bicolor corn. I also wanted to have them for corn stalks for decorating, but it's doing well, despite the fact that a windstorm came in and blew it over, and then I desperately tried to stand it up, and some of that worked and some of that didn't. But it is doing well for, considering it got hit by a windstorm. These are our beans. I canned, I think, 8 jars of beans, which I was very happy with because I've never pressure canned before. And then I kind of gave up on it. We went on vacation. That vacation kind of did me in some ways. There's beans all over it right now that I need to come get. I went on vacation. When I got back from vacation, we were all sick, and so that has kind of been the death of me. But I've kept up really well on the cucumbers, the beans not so much. Here is my zucchini plant. I had a yellow squash plant as well. It didn't do well. I think it got a squash borer. It all of a sudden just looked bad. It had a squash on it that didn't make it. But I've been getting plenty of zucchini off this one. I have another one down there at the raised bed that I'll show you that I'm probably going to pull because I'm getting plenty of zucchini. Here's another beautiful pumpkin. It's crazy. So I did plant more squash seeds somewhere in here that I have not come and checked on, and I don't see them. Hold on. I mean, So I'll come check on those later today. But I mean, look at the cucumbers. Like, I had to come and cut it back last night because it was going everywhere and getting my other plants, and I don't need this many cucumbers. I mean, there's one I missed right there. Can you see that? There's just cucumbers everywhere, and I need to come back out here again today and get some more before we go on vacation. You can probably see a little better the squash over there. So that's the vegetable garden though. It's looking really good. I'm getting a lot off of it. I'm very excited about that. That was the whole goal. And it looks lush and beautiful back here. So I need to go pick all those flowers. The goal is to leave no flower that is worthy of vase unpicked. So now we're gonna swing here around, past the house, past the cars, and go down to our raised bed vegetable garden. So as we walk down here, this is my driveway. This is another volunteer pumpkin with pumpkins on it. I mean, it looks really good. So hopefully that'll pan out for me. Jason desperately trying to weed eat without getting the vines. That's funny. So over here, in this container, we've got a David Austin rose. It's putting on a lot of new growth. It's looking good. We're getting a lot of rain, and it looks like the Japanese beetles are decently leaving that one alone. They have not left alone my blackberry bush, which I think probably the animals get more blackberries off of than I do, so that's not cool, but at least somebody's eating them. This is my Mother's Day pot. It had kind of stopped blooming for me for a little bit. I have been using the water-soluble fertilizer on it, but it is looking very healthy, so I think it will start blooming again. When I lost all my corn before I put more corn in here, I did put the same variety so we didn't have any cross-pollination problems, and it's looking good. I am going to come through and stake that so we don't have that same problem. This is a color-coded Orange You Awesome. I love echinacea. I want to put a whole drift of echinacea in another bed, but as you'll see in a minute, we've got vole problems that are going out of style, like it's going out of style. We've got a Genovese basil, a cabbage that I need to desperately put out some bug and slug for, and some chives, and all that's doing well if I can get the bugs off of it. Bugs are always a problem for me. I did make these tomato cages out of sticks. I think they look super whimsical. I think I'm gonna make more stuff in my yard out of sticks. I think it matches the decor of my house so well. They are putting on tomatoes. I bought these just to replace stuff in this bed. And so, you know, they're extra, basically. This is the other zucchini plant here. I may just come pull this. I have plenty of zucchini. I have frozen some shredded zucchini. I think we're already all zucchinied out, so I may pull this just because it's kind of in the way of the tomato, give the tomato a better chance. This vine here, which I was kind of hoping would cover the whole trellis, is cowpeas, or basically black-eyed peas, or black-eyed pea family. And this side is definitely doing better than that side. Don't mind that blueberry bush, it looks a little rough. And it's starting to make it towards the top, but it was slow to take off. So I'm excited to see it going towards the top, because last year I had this thing completely covered, and it was beautiful and ethereal, and I loved it. But it's going to make black-eyed peas for us in these pods, and you just let the pods dry on the vines and then take the beans out. So it's a really easy crop to handle, which is what I need right now, easy. And then we've got more tomatoes here, looking great. This is Jackson's pot of zinnias. When we went on vacation, another thing that happened was nothing was getting water, it was all clogged. So it started to look a little rough. I came back, I pruned it back some. I fashioned a trellis of sorts out of some more sticks because it did need some support. It was getting leggy and needed some more support, and fertilized it, and it's looking a lot better. I may need to come and underplant it with something because it's looking a little gross under there, but herbs are doing great. I do harvest my herbs on a regular basis, trying to keep them from bolting and to dry them, so we have more produce we've gotten from our garden. This is Wyatt's pot, Supertunia, Vista Silverberry, no, Supertunia, Jazzberry, and Bubblegum. I'm amazed the Jazzberry is really giving the bubblegum a run for its money. It's also about to choke out the Angelonia, and that grass is looking really good as well. He picked all of those, and I think that was a good pick. This bed had potatoes in it. We have harvested the potatoes, and I'm leaving it empty so that we can plant our garlic here. This is our Amazel basil, and this is a very vigorous basil. I cut on this all the time and dry it, and it looks really great. This is my reblooming sunflower. It's Monrovia's version, and the Blue My Mind Evolvulus. Again, this stuff wasn't blooming as well. It lost water, and that pretty much took out my favorite container, which is unfortunate because the Laguna Sky Blue could not tolerate the lack of water. It all died, but my verbena has started to bloom a little bit again. My Angelonia in here has started to bloom, so it'll just be a red and white, which will be great because we've got some blue from the Blue My Mind Evolvulus. I love the yellow reblooming sunflower with the Blue My Mind Evolvulus, and I think next year I'm going to do those in the front pots. I also think when I do that, I'm going to trim it a lot so that it gets nice and bushy and full and isn't susceptible to laying down like this. So now let's go over to the new bed, or the vole's favorite lunch and dinner and breakfast in my biggest problem area. So cornerstone of this bed is this beautiful blue spruce that nicely contrasts the orangish red of my house. Beautiful. And then I put over here 3 purple coneflower. I'm going to repeat that over there. I love coneflower. It's such a pretty flower. It's this nice huge flower. It's beautiful. Behind that is a forsythia. We did mulch at the beginning of this year, and then I planted a bunch of stuff and disrupted the mulch, so it does look a little bit messy, but it's a work in progress, so I'm okay with that. Then I had this full line of Super Tunia Jazzberry, and it is a favorite of the voles. Voles come out here and eat these plants all the time, and I've tried vole repellent. Someone said juicy fruit. I tried juicy fruit, so I've got to figure something else out. These look amazing, and I would love to have them all. I'm going to leave this area always for seasonal plantings. I've already got my tulip bulbs ordered to put in the fall. But these have looked really good. My husband loves these because they're super bright. It has rained a lot recently, so that's why the blooms are laid out a little bit. But as you see, we're missing some, and I'm noticing this morning they took out half of that one there. I do have more of these plants that I've been growing on, and I could put them in here, but I'm afraid if I do it before I get the voles under control, the voles will just come and eat them too. There's 3 roses here. They are more of the Morton Blush, and apparently our Japanese beetles aren't done, because that is them there. I just sit here and wait for them to be done. I spray them with Rose RX. I think it keeps them somewhat. I don't know what it does. It's frustrating. And then we've got some salvia here. I put this in, it was a bajillion degrees, and it just suffered, and I didn't get it water immediately, and I wasn't watering everything enough anyhow. I had to kick up my water, totally forgot about it, so it was just suffering, and so I cut it back. It's coming back, it's putting on new blooms, so that's really exciting because it was struggling, but next year it's going to be beautiful here. Then over here we've got our beautiful limelight hydrangea. Love this plant. Love how beautiful it's looking here. Can't wait for it to get huge and amazing. May have to move some things when it does. Next to that, we've got some Autumn Joy sedum. And if you'll notice, these plants here look rough. I'm gonna go back actually. Let's go back. This is what voles do. So you see this plant looks nice and healthy. It looked fine last night. You see that hole? I guarantee you this is all about to wilt because it ate the roots out from under the plant. And like, if you lift it up, it's just not even connected to the ground anymore. It ate it. And I've got these holes everywhere. And I can't get rid of these voles. And I bet I'm gonna lose that whole plant. stressful. Not really that stressful. Could be way worse. I mean, you see that hole there? They've just eaten every one of these plants. Oh, there's another one. Gonna lose that one too. So if you look, sorry to swing you around so hard, from like here on, it looks amazing. And then you have that. So these here are the proven winners, banana cream. They were the first one to get hit by voles, and they continue to get hit by voles. These two, not as bad. These four, I mean, that one is just like a stick at this point. So I'm hoping we can get them under control before they just completely kill the plants. This is Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. I'm not sure. This is Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. Not sure how I feel about it. Doesn't bloom enough for my liking. Maybe it doesn't get enough sun here. Maybe it's getting eaten by voles. Who knows? I'll give it a year or two to see if I like it. Next to that, right here, we've got this Autumn Joy Sedum. This plant obviously putting on a lot more growth than that plant, and that plant has had voles eat it too, and I just stuck it back in the ground because maybe it'll root. Don't know. So I stuck it back in the ground. I'm not gonna hurt anything to stick it there and give it a chance. We've got some Painting the Town Fuchsia Dianthus and some weeds, and it's not looking so hot. So we'll see how that works out. This is some canna lilies. I think canna lilies look really tropical and aren't necessarily a good fit for my yard, but my husband is from Florida and loves them and hibiscus. So we've got canna lilies and hibiscus. Now I've posted videos, shorts of hibiscus before. There are Japanese beetles on that plant. And then this is his rose. This is a peace rose, I think. But to swing back around, the canna lily had been blooming red, really beautiful. It looks like it needs to bloom again. I think it probably will, but I put these in for him and I'm actually quite enjoying them because the red is super striking. And I do love red in the garden. So we're gonna go around this bed. This is the new bed. Obviously we still have a lot of stuff to put in here, but once I started to have a vole problem, I started to lose plants rather quickly and was rather discouraged from putting more plants in. I've not been maintaining this as well as I should have because, again, I have been sick, but the hydrangeas are looking fairly good. I had to put a ton of water on these to keep them happy, but they're coming back and blooming again, so that's really exciting. I need to weed them. I need to come cut out the dead blooms. We're gonna move this way. There's been rain recently and we always get a bunch of sticks and debris and weeds. Oh, I need a weed out here. So this is the hosta area. I would like to expand this. I love how cooling this looks and great this looks. So I'm going to put many more hostas in here and expand it out a lot, but they're doing really well. They're getting lots of water. They were getting eaten by voles, but that seems to have ceased. They seem to only want my supertunias now. So then there's that. And then this is gonna be a hedge of hydrangeas. And I got some of these hydrangeas and I almost took them out with lack of water, very similar to these astilbe that I put in. But they are all getting green back, they're all growing, everything looks like it's gonna make it, so that's promising. But the hydrangeas will go all the way up this brown tubing to make a nice hedge of these beautiful blue flowers that I think look so great in the shade. This one is from last year. These are all from this year, and you can definitely tell I stressed them with lack of water as well. This is my Japanese maple. The top did die out of it. I cut some of that out, so we'll see how it does. I'm a little worried about her, but we'll see how she does. This is an Aralia. Yes, this thing that looks like a weed is a plant that I almost killed with water stress as well, but it's doing much better now. I'm watering everything on drip, usually for like 30 minutes to an hour a day. At first I was doing like 15 minutes, and that's what the problem was. And then here's my beautiful camellia. I love my camellia. Reminds me of the South. It's April Remembered camellia, so it's beautiful pink color. And it's got all kinds of beautiful buds on it. I'm super excited to see her. So let's flip around. This bed has been so much fun for me. Look at the vole trails in there. This bed has been a lot of fun for me. I put this bed in from scratch. I cut out these lines myself, and so it's super exciting to see it doing somewhat well and to come together. So let's go to the beds in front of the house real quick. So we'll start with the walkway pots. I recently trimmed these back pretty hard, not that one. That one's got some kind of water issue, and it had that on vacation. I didn't know about it, and so it is the one that gets the least amount of sun anyhow, so it may not make it. We may need to do something else with that. But it's looking really pretty, especially the purple and the yellow with the Rudbeckia in the background. This area I've been really impressed with this year. It's done exactly how I wanted. This bed on the left here, all this beautiful Wicked Witch coleus. I think I'm going to use a ton of coleus next year. Coleus, very reliable, especially the Color Blaze series. It just grows like a weed, always looks good. You're not waiting on blooms. Then behind that I've got a annual salvia and then the double up pink begonia. And I did not like begonias last year. I kept killing them. They have really been a win for me this year, and you're gonna see a lot more begonias in my yard from now on. But in these pots are the Supertunia Vista Fuchsia and Superbenia, I think is Royal Blue. The Superbenia is about to come back out in this one again. I just trimmed these back really, really hard, like cut half the plant off of it. And they're reblooming, looking really, really amazing. So they were just looking really leggy. The center of them was dying out, and it just come in here and chop things up, so I did. Here are the roses, and these are the containers that contain more of the Supertunia Vista Jazzberry that I could put down there, but I'm afraid the voles will just get them as well. And here's that last container backed by these beautiful Black-Eyed Susan Rudbeckia. Love this plant. Native plant, beautiful plant, spills over the walkway, fills up late summer, beautiful bright yellow color. So Americana to me, love it. Next to that I've got Juan's Wizard of Oz, Veronica. Behind that are the carding mill roses that are trying to survive their onslaught of Japanese beetles. So they haven't been blooming for a while, but they are putting some growth on, so that's promising. And then I've got this beautiful section of lamb's ear that I love, and all of these sticks are dahlia tubers. Some of these came back from last year, which is really nice, but also we're about to get a bloom show up probably. Back there is not looking so great, but I put in a whole lot of dahlias in an effort to just be able to cut them really. I got them all from Eden Brothers, but they're looking really, really good. Most of them. Some of them are looking a little weak, but like, look at this guy. Definitely pinch these back. We're about to get some blooms, so that's really super exciting. And then this is I've shown this before, my hanging basket planter. When I cut back the other Supertunias, I cut back it as well and then immediately fertilized it. It was looking really leggy as well. I think one of the things that would improve this is if I got a bigger basket to put here. It could definitely tolerate a bigger basket, and because it doesn't have enough room, it struggles. But this is the Above and Beyond combination. Supertunia Vista Fuchsia, bubblegum, a sweet potato vine, and Vista Silverberry, if I can get that out. I love sweet potato vines. They're easy to grow. Wonderful. I'm gonna walk downstairs and look at this container and that set of containers. I'll tell you what we're not gonna look at is these houseplants that I've had forever and were doing really, really well. And then I forgot they existed for several months. And they look dead, but I'm seeing green. And so, we're gonna give them a chance to bounce back. So we're gonna swing around here and look at our Pamela Crawford planter. So let's talk. She doesn't look like two separate things, really. I don't think my plant choice was good. I love the height right here. I love that it makes a focal point right here. I love the sweet potato vine, even though it's like the same color green or very similar to the stuff behind it. So maybe a black sweet potato vine would be really great here. I do need to trim it up just a little bit, but things aren't filling in the way that I imagined. The coleus that I bought was not a proven winner's coleus, and I should have known better because it is just turning green and totally defeating the purpose of being the pink in the container. I have said that I'm writing off impatience. I do have one impatient bloom there, and that plant is doing pretty good. So I'll probably be at the store next year buying those against my better judgment, but she looks pretty good. This side looking a lot better than the other because on this side we've got a lot more coleus interest. I do need to trim it up just a little bit, like right there. I do love the way sweet potato vines just trail and look majestic and fluffy and beautiful. So probably always a sweet potato vine somewhere in here. But yeah, I'm going to give it a C-. And then finally, my favorite containers, or favorite performing containers of this year. When I put these in, I did a video about it, and I said in there I wasn't 100% sure about these because a lot of these things were not shade plants. I think this area gets a little bit more sun than I give it credit for. Don't mind the container, the toy there. So I put fern in here because I knew fern would do well with some no. What is that white fluffy stuff? Diamond Frost Euphorbia. Diamond Frost Euphorbia doesn't love it, but it's doing okay. And it adds a little ethereal element in between there. Then we've got a lot of blue that I wanted, which was lamb's ear, and it looks really good. Then we've got like a white polka dot plant, which we've also repeated in the main container. Begonia over there looking amazing, hasn't skipped a beat. That plant looks amazing. Same as these beautiful begonias over here. They haven't skipped a beat. Dichondra Silver Fall's doing well. I'm constantly having to pull that off the other plants. And then we've got more begonias in this one, more fern, a grass that probably isn't loving its life, but it's more or less there because I couldn't help myself. And my favorite thing, this beautiful asparagus fern. I love that fluffy element there. There is a fiber optic grass here, but it is being overtaken by so much that I don't think that one's gonna make it. But I have really loved this combination of plants. It just looks so classic and beautiful, and I have really, really enjoyed it. I was surprised as well, because like I say, these are not necessarily, this is not a full sun, or even, I wouldn't consider a part sun spot. It's on the north side of the house, but it is getting plenty of sun to make these plants happy, and it looks beautiful here, and it has been one of my favorite things along with my vegetable garden. So that is going to be it for me in this video in the July garden tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I didn't swing you around too much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. I hope you're having as good of a garden year as I am with less voles. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.